Princess Lyra was tiny even for her kind. In a galaxy where towering alien nobles strutted through palaces like living statues, Lyra barely reached the height of a low table. Her wings were delicate, shimmering with a soft silver glow, and her eyes sparkled like stars full of sharp intelligence. She was the youngest princess of the Amerian Empire, a civilization that spanned hundreds of planets and countless star systems. Despite her royal blood, she carried a strange burden. No male wanted her. Not one. The alien males of the Empire, strong, tall, and proud, looked at her and saw only weakness. She is too small, too fragile, they would say, dismissing her. And when Lyra tried to speak with them, to share her ideas or prove her courage, they ignored her. Some even laughed. It was a painful rejection, not just personal but political. As the youngest royal, she was expected to marry for alliances, to secure the Empire's power. Yet no one considered her worthy. Lyra had learned to move silently through her palace halls to watch the endless meetings and councils from shadows. She listened to the advisors speak about politics, wars, and trade, always imagining what she might do differently. The palace was filled with strange machines and glowing panels, alien technology so advanced it could map stars in real time or teleport small objects. Lyra loved learning, tinkering with the devices in secret, feeling more at home with circuits and engines than with suitors who didn't see her. Her isolation weighed on her heavily. Sometimes she would sit on her balcony, overlooking the city of silver towers, and imagine what it would be like to be accepted, to have someone see her for who she truly was. The alien males would never understand her courage, her cleverness, or her daring spirit. They were bound by tradition and appearances, blind to her strengths. It was on one ordinary day that something extraordinary happened. A human ship appeared in the sky above the palace, cutting through the atmosphere with an unfamiliar grace. Humans were rare visitors to the Amerian Empire, and the council had often debated how much trust they could place in them. The ship landed with a soft hum, and out stepped a man, tall, with short dark hair and eyes that seemed to hold quiet determination. Captain Ethan Carter. He was different from any alien Lyra had met. He moved with confidence but no arrogance. He scanned his surroundings with curiosity, not judgment. And when his gaze met Lyra's from the balcony, he did not flinch or sneer. He only nodded politely. For the first time in her life, someone seemed to see her. The council was suspicious. "He is human," one advisor whispered. "We do not know their ways. Keep your distance, princess." But Lyra felt a strange excitement. She decided she would speak with him. Ethan approached her quietly, not with the formal airs of an ambassador, but with genuine interest. "Princess Lyra," he said, "I've heard much about you." His voice was calm, steady, and kind. "I want to learn from you." Lyra raised an eyebrow. No alien male had ever spoken to her like that. Usually they only gave commands or dismissed her entirely. "Why would a human care about me?" she asked, her voice tinged with both skepticism and hope. Ethan smiled. "Because I believe people should be judged by their courage, not their size or status." That simple statement struck her deeply. She had spent her whole life being underestimated, her abilities ignored, and here was someone who believed in seeing beyond the surface. The days that followed were filled with cautious exploration. Ethan requested to accompany Lyra on her daily routines, and she reluctantly agreed. He watched as she repaired delicate machinery, navigating circuits and energy fields that even some of the adult aliens struggled to understand. When she piloted a small reconnaissance craft to inspect the city's outer defenses, Ethan followed, asking questions and learning quickly. His curiosity was genuine, and his human ingenuity impressed her. One day, during a test flight near the asteroid belts surrounding the capital planet, a violent storm of cosmic energy erupted. Lyra's craft was caught in a sudden surge and alarms blared. She struggled to regain control, but the craft was too small to withstand the full force. Ethan in his human ship acted without hesitation. He piloted through the storm, maneuvering with a precision that even seasoned alien pilots would envy. Reaching Lyra, he guided her craft to safety, using a combination of quick thinking and instinct. When they finally landed, Lyra's heart pounded, not just from fear, but from admiration. How did you do that?" she asked, voice trembling. Ethan shrugged, trying to appear casual. "Humans are adaptable. We face dangers we cannot always predict, and we find ways through. You just have to stay calm and think fast." Lyra stared at him, realizing something she had never acknowledged before. This human saw her as an equal. He respected her courage and intelligence, unlike the alien males who only saw her stature. For the first time, she felt a flicker of hope, that maybe she was not destined to be alone. Their growing friendship did not go unnoticed. The royal council murmured disapproval, and some nobles whispered about scandal. But Lyra ignored them. For the first time, she felt understood. Ethan encouraged her to test her limits, to explore not just machinery but the wider galaxy itself. Together, they studied star maps, plotted exploration routes, and even discussed potential political strategies to strengthen her position in the Empire. Yet danger was never far. A rival noble, Marquis Vex, had long coveted Lyra's position. When he learned of her growing bond with the human, he saw an opportunity. He sabotaged one of her spacecrafts, planting a device that would strand her in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from help. The council, bound by tradition and distrust of humans, refused to intervene, leaving her fate uncertain. The night before her mission, Lyra stood on the balcony again, staring at the stars. Ethan approached quietly. "Whatever happens tomorrow," he said softly, "know that I will come for you. You are not alone." Lyra felt a warmth she had never known. She nodded, her tiny wings fluttering nervously. She had always believed that her size made her weak, that no one could see her value, but Ethan's presence proved her wrong. The next morning, as her craft lifted off, alarms immediately began blaring. The sabotage took effect and the engines faltered. Lyra fought to regain control, but the craft was tumbling helplessly toward the dark void of uncharted space. She sent a distress signal, knowing that the council would likely ignore it. Her mind raced, her body trembled, and for the first time fear truly gripped her. Suddenly, a familiar hum filled the void. Ethan's ship appeared, cutting through the chaos. He locked onto her craft and executed a daring maneuver, guiding her safely aboard his ship. Lyra's heart pounded as she clutched the console, staring at him in disbelief. You came for me," she whispered. Ethan nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "I promised. I will always keep my word." In that moment, Lyra realized something profound. Perhaps it did not matter that the alien males of the galaxy had rejected her. Perhaps it did not matter that she had been underestimated her entire life. She had found someone who saw her as she truly was, brave, intelligent, and capable. As the human ship sailed through the stars, Lyra and Ethan worked together to plot a course back to the Empire. But they both knew the journey would not be easy. Rival factions would not welcome them, and the sabotage was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable, yet for the first time Lyra felt a spark of hope that could not be extinguished. She was no longer just a tiny princess in a world of giants. With Ethan by her side, she was a force to be reckoned with, a mind and spirit that refused to be ignored, a courage that no rejection could diminish. And in the silence of space, as stars streaked past the ship, Lyra allowed herself a small, rare smile. Maybe, just maybe, the galaxy would finally see her for who she truly was. Lyra sat at the controls of Ethan's ship, her tiny fingers tracing the buttons and panels she had grown familiar with during their journey. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, a dark canvas dotted with stars, asteroids, and distant planets. The sabotage on her craft had been only the beginning. She knew that danger was still out there, lurking in the shadows of uncharted space, waiting for a chance to strike. Ethan glanced at her from his seat, his eyes calm but alert. "Are you ready for the next step?" he asked. Lyra nodded, determination shining in her bright eyes. "I have to go back. My kingdom needs me, and I won't let anyone stop me. Not now." Ethan smiled, the faint curve of his lips warm and reassuring. "Then we'll do it together." Their first challenge came sooner than expected. As they approached the Amarian Empire's outer borders, sensors detected an ambush fleet. Rival nobles, jealous of Lyra's position and angry at her growing alliance with a human, had sent ships to intercept her. The ambush fleet was vast, bristling with weapons and shields designed to overpower even the strongest ships in the Empire. Lyra's pulse quickened, but she did not panic. She leaned over the navigation panel, plotting a course through the asteroid field nearby. "We can't face them head-on," she said. "We need to outsmart them," Ethan nodded. "Then we'll use speed and strategy. Follow my lead." Together they maneuvered through the asteroids, dodging blasts of energy and narrowly avoiding collisions. Lyra marveled at Ethan's instincts. He predicted enemy movements with uncanny precision, guiding their ship through a chaotic dance of destruction. Despite the danger, she felt exhilarated. For the first time, she was not just a princess. She was a participant, a strategist, a force to be reckoned with. After hours of tense maneuvering, they managed to escape the ambush. Lyra's heart still raced, but she felt alive in a way she had never known. "That was incredible," she admitted. "I've never seen anyone handle danger like you do." Ethan shrugged modestly. "Humans have to adapt. We survive by thinking fast and working together. You've been brilliant too, Lyra. Without your knowledge of the Empire's technology, we wouldn't have made it." Lyra's cheeks flushed with pride. She had always been underestimated, ignored, or dismissed. Now, for the first time, someone not only recognized her abilities but relied on them, and it felt extraordinary. When they finally reached the palace, Lyra was greeted with mixed reactions. The royal council was skeptical and wary of the human who had assisted her. Some whispered about scandal and improper influence, while others watched in awe at the tiny princess who had returned from the edge of space unharmed. Marquis Vex, the noble responsible for the sabotage, was furious. "How dare you bring a human into our affairs?" he demanded, his voice dripping with venom. "You've broken tradition and dishonored the throne." Lyra stood tall, her small frame radiating unexpected authority. "I did what was necessary to survive and protect my kingdom," she said firmly. "And I will continue to do what is right, even if you refuse to see it." The council murmured, some shocked by her courage. Ethan stayed quietly beside her, his presence lending support without overshadowing her. The contrast between his calm confidence and the anger of the alien nobles highlighted a simple truth. Lyra's strength did not come from size or tradition, but from intelligence, courage, and allies who respected her. The days that followed were filled with preparation. Lyra knew that Marquis Vex would not stop at sabotage. He would attempt a direct attack on her kingdom to seize power. She studied maps of the Empire, its defenses, and the positions of loyal forces. Ethan offered strategies based on human military tactics, suggesting unconventional maneuvers that the Alien Council had never considered. At first, some council members resisted. "These ideas are reckless," one complained. "Humans do not understand our ways," Lyra intervened. "These ideas may be unconventional, but they work. We cannot rely solely on tradition if we wish to survive." Ethan nodded in agreement, but it was Lyra's voice, clear and commanding, that swayed the council. Slowly, they began to implement the strategies she and Ethan proposed. When the rival forces arrived, Lyra led the defense personally. From the command center, she coordinated fleet movements guided by her knowledge of technology and the human strategies Ethan had suggested. Energy beams and missiles streaked across space, and Lyra's fleet moved with precision. The rival nobles' forces were confident, expecting an easy victory, but they had underestimated both the tiny princess and the human who stood beside her. During the battle, Ethan took a small strike team to disable enemy weapons from within. Navigating enemy ships with daring agility, Lyra monitored his progress, providing support through communications and tactical adjustments. She felt a surge of respect and admiration for him. Humans truly approached challenges differently, seeing solutions that others overlooked. Hours later, the battle ended. The rival forces retreated, their pride shattered, and Marquis Vex was forced to flee. Lyra's kingdom remained intact, and for the first time she felt the full weight of her own capability. She had been underestimated her entire life, but she had proven, not just to others but to herself, that courage and intelligence could overcome prejudice and tradition. After the battle, Lyra walked through the palace gardens, taking a moment to breathe. The twin suns were setting, casting golden light over the silver towers. Ethan joined her, his expression calm but thoughtful. "You were incredible," he said quietly. "I've seen many leaders, but I've never seen anyone combine intelligence, courage, and adaptability like you just did." Lyra smiled, a rare, genuine smile that lit up her small face. "I could not have done it alone," she admitted. "You believed in me when no one else did?" Ethan reached out, placing a hand lightly on her shoulder. "And I always will. Humans may be outsiders in your galaxy, but we see things differently. Sometimes differently is what saves lives." Lyra felt a warmth spread through her chest. She realized then that it did not matter that every alien male had rejected her. It did not matter that tradition had tried to define her worth. She had found someone who saw her truly, who respected her courage, her mind, and her heart. and that was far more valuable than any approval from those who judged only by appearances. In the weeks that followed, Lyra's position in the Empire changed. She was no longer just the tiny princess. She was a symbol of ingenuity, courage, and change. Her people looked to her for guidance, inspired by the story of how she had faced danger and triumphed with the help of an unexpected ally. Even some of the previously dismissive nobles began to respect her, recognizing that true strength came in many forms. Lyra and Ethan spent their time together planning exploration missions, studying distant worlds and improving the Empire's defenses. They learned from each other constantly, blending human adaptability with alien technology in ways that no one had thought possible. And in quiet moments away from politics and battles, they shared stories, laughed, and discovered the joy of genuine companionship. One evening, as the stars shimmered outside the palace windows, Lyra looked at Ethan with a mix of gratitude and affection. "I never thought anyone would see me for who I really am," she said softly. "But you did." Ethan smiled, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "And I always will. No matter what happens, I will stand by you. You are not just a princess. You are a leader, a fighter, and the most remarkable person I have ever met." Lyra's heart swelled with emotion. For the first time, she felt fully seen, fully valued, and fully alive. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, but with Ethan by her side, she knew that anything was possible. And as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the palace, Lyra allowed herself to dream. She dreamed of exploring the stars, of challenging traditions, and of living a life defined not by rejection but by courage, intelligence, and the bond she shared with a human who had never judged her by size, status, or appearance. The galaxy had once turned away from her. But now, with bravery, ingenuity, and the steadfast presence of Ethan, Lyra was ready to show the universe that even the smallest princess could shine brighter than the tallest towers, and that sometimes the one who truly sees you is not from your world, but from somewhere far beyond. And in that endless expanse of stars, Lyra felt something she had never felt before: hope, belonging, and the promise of an extraordinary future.